Hi Fred, welcome to today's topic on the measurement of nutrient intake and status in Australia. The aims of this presentation include describing the methods used in collecting and measuring nutrient intake in Australia, to define a survey, to provide examples of surveys conducted to date, and to link to how and why this area can inform your practice as a chef. Just before we delve into nutrient measurement, it is useful to think about why nutrient measurement of the population is required. Firstly, nutrient intake data informs policymakers, health professionals, as well as food regulators and food providers. This information can promote health and well-being and protect against chronic disease. Additionally, regular capture of dietary data helps monitor the status of the population, in turn facilitating assessment and refinement of guidelines. Measuring the nutrient intake and status of Australia requires primarily the use of surveys. A survey gathers information and provides a snapshot of the population we are interested in. Commonly, nutritional surveys study populations defined by geography, such as nationwide or statewide. Survey data is collected by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Australia's official statistical agency that provides trusted information on key national issues such as food intake. Surveys can use many methods to collect information. 24-hour diet recalls are commonly used where the participants recall the last 24 hours of food consumption to the interviewer. Food frequency questionnaires contain predetermined questions regarding the type and frequency of food intake over a period of time. Telephone or face-to-face interviews can also be used. 24-hour recalls are useful for large-scale surveys. They are inexpensive and easy to complete. While poor memory can impact results, recalls can be performed multiple times to gain an average, improving accuracy. Food frequency questionnaires are also quick and inexpensive for large population studies. They are accurate and gather detailed information. At times, these too can be impacted by poor participant recall. Interviews offer rich data due to freedom of expression, however may introduce bias and are time-consuming, therefore are not commonly used in large surveys. Weighing and recording food intake has also been used in the past for surveys. However, this method was found too cumbersome, adding reliance on 24-hour recalls and questionnaires. The food composition information from a survey is then required to be analysed for composition of nutrients. This is done by multiplying food consumption from the survey by nutrient composition of the food. Data on the nutrient composition of food is contained at food composition databases. These include NUTAB and AusNut, which are both created and regulated by the Food Standards Australia and New Zealand. Links to these databases can be found below. Australia first began surveying national nutrition in 1938. Examples of recent surveys that have been conducted are listed below, and further information on these can be found at the supplied link. The 1995 National Nutrition Survey involved more than 12,000 individuals and utilised both the 24-hour recall and the food frequency questionnaire. The results indicated Australia's level of nutrient consumption. This informed research bodies such as the National Health and Medical Research Council, Australia's government body of evidence-based research and health advice, who in turn created the Australian Dietary Guidelines. The Australian Health Survey included over 50,000 randomly selected participants. It utilised the 24-hour recall method twice to improve accuracy of results and collected biological samples such as blood tests. The study was broad, with 4 outline components and separate surveys shown below. Overall, nutritional surveys provide large-scale measures of the nutrition intake and status in Australia. They utilise acceptable methods to produce results such as 24-hour diet recalls and food frequency questionnaires. Along with other validated scientific studies, measurements from surveys inform the Australian Dietary Guidelines and the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating, developed by the National Health and Medical Research Council. This can be seen in the diagram. What can this mean for you? By working as a food provider for the general population, adherence to the Australian Dietary Guidelines can mean being supported by wide-scale measurement systems such as the nutrition surveys. That in effect reflects the people you serve day to day. Thank you for your time, and please feel free to take a fact sheet for reference.